This book gives us 21 productivity tips, but there are 2 of them that really stuck with me, and I will explain those in this video. But first of all, why is productivity important? Well, think about a day when at the end of the day you were really satisfied about the whole day. It probably wasn't a day when you were just lounging on the couch doing nothing and watching TV all day. That would be easy, but it wouldn't make you feel great at the end of the day. It's much more likely to be a day when you give yourself a lot of goals, like read a book, go for a run, finish some project you've been working on, and even though you didn't think you'll finish all your goals, you pushed through and managed to do everything you intended to do. So being productive is important because at the end of a really productive day is when you're gonna feel your best. So frogs? Eat that frog? What does this even mean? Well, Mark Twain once said that if the first thing you do each morning is to eat a live frog, you can go through the rest of the day with the satisfaction of knowing that it is probably the worst thing that you are going to do that day. So you're not actually supposed to eat live frogs. The frog is a metaphor and it represents your biggest and most important task. It is up to you to decide what that is, and it is usually something you've been avoiding to do for a while. I'm gonna try and illustrate this point by using an example from my own life. So last summer I had to do a master's thesis, which was supposed to be 12,000 words long. And during the first month, I didn't even get started. I was finding every excuse not to begin. And I was doing productive procrastination, where I would read a book that I didn't need to be reading, or something like cleaning the house, or doing anything else to avoid doing what was important. But then I read this book. So from then on, the first thing I would do every morning when I woke up, from 8 o'clock till noon, was to eat my frog, which in my example was to work on my thesis. I made this non-negotiable for myself, and in the next month in July, I got 2/3 of my thesis done. And the funny thing is, I still had time for all the things I used to do before, like reading and working out, but I would just do them later, after I got the most important thing done in the day. So the key idea here is to do your most important task first thing in the morning. Now, imagine this is the Sahara Desert. The desert is totally flat, like a broad yellow sand parking lot that is stretched to the horizon in all directions. More than 1,300 people used to die trying to cross this desert every year. So how did they fix this? They added oil barrels. So every 5 kilometers apart, there was an oil barrel. And at any point, you would see 2 oil barrels. The one you just crossed and the one coming up ahead. So this desert was 500 miles across in a single stretch. It was dangerous and very difficult to cross, and this was fixed and made easy by adding these oil barrels. So in order to cross this huge desert, you just have to follow the next oil barrel. So I hope you see the productivity lesson here by now. In order to reach a big goal that you have, it is wise to divide it into small little chunks. So to go back to the example of my thesis, the goal of 12,000 words seemed impossible, and thinking about the big goal made me quite frustrated. So I took that big goal and cut it into small little pieces. So my new goal was to write 300 words per day. Now 300 words is quite easy, and I just had to do that for 40 days, and all of a sudden my goal seemed very achievable. So the big idea here is to divide your big goals into small little steps. So while chunking is a great bonus little tip to improve our productivity, the main action step from this book that I took for myself and for everyone watching this video is eat that frog. Spend 1 minute before you go to sleep to figure out what is the most important task you need to get done the next day, and when you wake up, get started on that most important task straight away and get it finished as soon as possible. And if you do that, you will feel great and the rest of the day will be easy.